Is mis Muireann
agus is mis Emilie,
agus chuirmar Maria Simmons-Gooding fé Agallamh.
Bhí sé anna sa mua fálam fuaithe agus dalamí mar anfid. So, tell us about your day, first of all.
Today,
Yeah. What have you done so far?
and what have I done so far? Well, I was doing all sorts of things around the house, and then I was finding out about framing, because I'm going to be having an exhibition in Dublin on the 2nd of October, and it's going to go on for 6 months.
What age were you when you started your art career? When you first started doing art?
Well, I was definitely younger than you, because I was in India. I was born in India, and I came back from India to Ireland when I was 7. So you see, I was a good bit younger than
Yeah.
both of you.
That answers my second question. So,
What was your second question?
when did you come to Ireland? So when you were 7.
When I was 7.
Yeah.
And how I know and remember how interested I was in art, it was because when I was in India, I had an ayah, that's like somebody who keeps their eye on you, you know what I mean? Somebody who takes care of you. And I loved my ayah. She was great fun, and she lived sort of a life with nature. And we were going for a walk together, but I could hardly walk, so she probably had me in a pram or something, because I was only about 2 or 3. And we were passing a field, and we were on the mountainside, a little grassy path. And suddenly there was an opening, and there was this golden field, and the sun was always shining in India. And I thought, oh, isn't that beautiful? You know, even when you're tiny, you can take it all in.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? People think that little kids they're not really taking it in, but I know you two would take in everything all around you all the time, as I did when I was your age. So all I could dream of was to ask my ayah, who I loved, and she loved me, would she carry me back to that field? That's all I wanted. And you know what? All my life, my art has been about fields. Isn't that funny?
Yeah.
It's always about fields. And I can tell you more about that, but you might have another question for me, and I'll answer that first if you want.
That answers also one of my questions. What's your biggest inspiration?
Oh, yeah, well, there you are. I've just told you, so I jumped the gun a bit, didn't I?
Yeah.
And that's a good question, by the way. And I love fields, so now it probably would be interesting to tell you, why do I love fields?
Yeah.
And I love fields because, first of all, I like very remote places.
Yeah.
And a field is very important for animals. Like on Inishikalawn, I love telling this story. On Inishikalawn, you know, the further out island, when I went there the first time, I couldn't believe it. There was this beautiful, small little field with a wall all around it. And I thought, why do they need to have a wall when the whole island is like a field?
Yeah.
But you know what it was? When I found out, it was for one blind sheep. So it didn't go over the cliff. Imagine, they made a lovely dry stone wall all around the field to keep it safe. And that's how much they love that sheep.
It's so sweet.
Isn't that just gorgeous? I've never forgotten it.
That is
Never.
very sweet.
So a field always has a great purpose, you know, either to keep animals out or for shelter, or if there's too much wind, like in Lanzarote. I don't know if you've ever been there, either of you, have you?
I'm not too sure I have.
I haven't, no.
You probably will one day, because a lot of Irish people go to Lanzarote. It's an amazing island. And they have walls like that, like a horseshoe shape. And you know why that is? Pretend there are hundreds of walls like that, okay?
Yeah.
And they're growing vine inside, and it's to stop the wind smashing all the vegetation, the trade winds, and there's too much sun, so the sun's coming from that side, and that'll cast a shadow. So I love all those things because it shows how clever the farmer is, how he provides protection for his vegetation, for his animals, and he's very clever because he gets around it. Some places there's too much sun, some places there's not enough sun,
Yeah.
some places there's too much rain, some places there's not enough. It varies all over the world. So I find it very interesting to see what the farmer does to make everything work. And farmers are wonderful people, very dedicated.
Yes, good question.
So tell me about some painters you like and why.
Dear, I bet that's your mother's question.
That's one of mine, actually.
Oh, is it? Oh gosh, I like so many painters.
Do you have a favourite painter?
I have so many. I wouldn't have one favourite, but I'm surrounded by paintings I love. For example, you know whose paintings those are?
Who?
Agallamh Gaheen, Mock Peg Sayers.
Oh.
Oh,
Oh, you didn't know he painted, did you?
no, I didn't know.
No. Okay, so will I talk about him then? Because he lived only beside the school. He lived very
Really?
close to your school, very, very close. You know when you're going to your school here,
Yeah.
and just about, maybe, I can't remember, is it just before or just after the school, on the opposite side, there's a road going up towards the mountain, the hill.
Oh, it's a bit before the school.
Yeah.
A bit before. Okay, he lived up there, and when you get right up to the end there's a little river, stream.
Oh,
It's crossing the road.
I know what she's talking about, but I forgot the name of the place. It's near where Margaret lives.
Oh, I forget the name as well.
We know what you're talking about, though.
Yeah.
And now I've got my mouth full. I shouldn't have taken that bite. And you're very careful not to be filling your mouth with food, aren't you? So anyway, he lived up there. And when I bought this cottage in 1968, this beautiful little cottage, I loved it. And it was,
Very nice.
isn't it gorgeous? And it was in an auction, and it sold for £810 in 20th of August 1968.
That's my birthday.
Is
Well,
it?
not 1968, but it's 20th of August, yeah.
Really? What year?
2013.
Oh, well done. Congratulations. Anyway, so it had no electricity and no water, and then I was lent a caravan right behind his house where he lives, in Ballavacora. Is that it?
That's what it was.
Yeah.
I think that's it. And so I used to cross the stream, you see, and on the other side then there was this field, and then one day he was waiting for me at the other side of the stepping stones, and he told me to come into his cottage, and he had a cottage very like this cottage, because this cottage was built by a Blasket Island man. He took the roof over from the island, and he built the cottage to fit his roof. And so Aunt Phyllis' cottage was exactly the same size. And it was beautiful and simple, but it was pretty dark inside.
Oh, yeah.
So we became very good friends. And then one day, I got it into my head, out of the blue. That's when I came back here, when I got the electricity. And I went back to him with a whole big heap of paper, paints, paintbrushes. Now, I had no idea if he would even want them. He didn't show any excitement when I produced them. I put them all on his wooden table.
Oh, no.
And then I visited him again about a week later, and he did his first fantastic painting, and he never stopped till he died, and he nearly did 200 paintings and drawings.
Wow.
And here's two of them here,
They're beautiful.
and they're all hanging all around my cottage. You can see the one beside the spinning wheel with the yellow background.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's his mother with the big cat on the red stool. That was his first painting he ever did.
I think we might have actually learnt that in school. I remember a teacher telling us a story about that.
Oh, yes, she could have. Yeah. Very likely she did. And then I published a book all about it, his paintings, called An Film Bhíola Gcéathrúin, The Blasket Painter. Maybe you saw that book, I don't know.
I think you might have showed it to me and my mother once.
It could have, yeah. And so now what's your next question?
What's your favourite type of art, like genre of art? Or do you have
Well,
one?
I tell you, I do love naive art where the person hasn't been trained. They just paint the way they feel, the way they think.
Yeah.
And all this room is covered with that sort of painting. This is a Tory Island painting. I love that one.
Yeah, it's very nice.
Because the lighthouse is very important on an island. Mm-hmm. So, and I love children's art. I really love children's art, especially. And I've got a whole drawer full. And you know what? Now that I think of it, I have a drawer in my studio. You'll have to come into my studio before you go. And you know who's in my bottom drawer? Your dad.
Aww.
Yeah, very good painting. In fact, I've got several paintings of the children that were at the school that you're at. They would be all like parents now.
Yeah.
But like I'll tell you, there was somebody called Grace Oldfield. Does that ring a bell? Like her parents had the pottery in Dunquin. And you know what? Do you know, I'll have to show it to you before you go. Now, I'll tell you what, she loved animals. She was in love with her donkey. And her donkey was called Humphrey. And let me tell you what happened. So Grace's parents be very sad. I'm sure she must have been very upset. I bet you would be if it happened to you. So suddenly her parents decided they were going to leave and they were going to live in Scotland. But you know what? Humphrey wasn't going to go with her.
Aww.
And so she came back one day on a little visit to say hello to Humphrey. And I got her up to my studio on her own and I put all the paints on the table. She could do what she wanted. She could choose what piece of paper she wanted, small, big. She chose quite a big piece of paper. And what was the painting of? Humphrey.
That's really
So,
sweet.
isn't that brilliant?
Yeah.
But you know what? The day came when she got Humphrey, travelled over to Scotland. He got there before the end. Isn't that brilliant?
Yeah.
It is.
And so she adored animals, and the way she painted Humphrey. Now, before you go, I'll have to show it to you, and we bring your whatever you call your recorder thing in, and then when I pull it out, now I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll do that, and then whatever you say must be recorded because I'd like to hear what you have to say about her two paintings, Humphrey. And the other one is of a seagull. Beautiful, huge big painting. So I'll show you those and then you tell me what you think. But now she had real talent. You know what I mean? It just sprung out of her. Well, that's the sort of painting that I really love, more than any. So I think that answers that question.
Yeah.
Now that we're on the topic, maybe you could ask your question about the school.
Oh, yeah. Do you remember the mural that you did with our school?
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Do you remember anything special about
Oh,
it?
I do. I remember lots of things.
Oh,
So I'll tell you all about it. Yeah, because, now wait a minute, your family weren't, or were they down there that time?
No, they weren't.
But your dad was, and your uncle was.
Yeah.
And loads of people were, but as you know, not everybody.
Yeah.
So, yes, eat away. So I wanted, they all said they wanted to paint. And so it's a huge undertaking. And I noticed the kids are very, very young. And they can't concentrate for more than a minute or two. And then they're thinking of something else, and you know what I mean? So it was very difficult to organise that because I didn't. You know what I'm most proud of? I promise you, I did not put one stroke of paint on that painting. Now, if I had done all the painting, that wouldn't be clever at all. Wouldn't be their painting. But it is totally their painting. Every stroke you see on it was done by all those kids. But anyway, then first of all, they went on strike. First of all, they all wanted to do everything. And then I bought some paintings up with seals in them that Emilie dhein had painted. The next thing is, everybody wanted to do a seal. There would be hundreds of seals. But we had to limit the seals. And I tell you who did all the background, because it had to be one of the older ones, and that was Lassa.
Mulcahy?
Yes. Yeah, he was very good. He was about 12 then, you see, just before he went to secondary school. And Lassa had to do all the back, because it's a huge painting, isn't it?
Yeah, it is very big.
Yeah, and there's a big background. But do you know what? I have photographs, close-up photographs of lots of the kids who did it, who were only about 5 years old at the time. Gorgeous photographs. A lot of the Kennedy boys, you know, John and Francis Kennedy's sons.
Oh, yes.
And they were like little angels. They were so adorable. They were tiny. So that worked very, very well. And it came out very well, didn't it?
It did, yes.
Yeah, it really did.
So here's another question from my mother. What do you enjoy the most in your creative process?
Oh, yes, that's a good question. Well, I tell you, when I'm right in a painting, making an artwork, whether it's plaster, aluminium, because I work in many different things, to start with, I find it very frightening. I feel, I can't start. I have a big piece of paper, a big slab of plaster, and I'm quite scared about making a mark because I'm not quite sure is it going to work. And once I've made the mark, it's like if you start a run, and then once you're running, you can't stop, and you love it.
Yeah.
And you just can't think of anything else. And so when I'm right in my work, I forget all about everything in the world. I'm just so deep in the work, and that's what I love the most.
So do you have any other questions?
What has changed about your art style since you've started?
Oh, so much, because I've gone through many different things. I've worked with oil painting, watercolour, gouache, plaster, aluminium, etching, carborundum. So I like life to be challenging all the time.
Yeah.
Not too easy and always not repeating always the same thing. So I like trying different things out.
Yeah.
And probably the most difficult, technically, to do was one of nearly the last things I did, and that was working with aluminium, because it's so dangerous. If you get aluminium dust up your nose, in your lungs, it would be terribly dangerous. You know, it's so fine you can't see it.
Yeah.
So I had to wear a huge, big sort of thing, like a beekeeper. And I had to have gloves. Every bit of me had to be covered. I had to lock my doors because I couldn't go to the door if somebody arrived. I couldn't answer my phone. I could do nothing. And then I had to hoover my shoes, because if I bring that stuff around the house, it will get into your eyes. It'll get everywhere. So that was really difficult.
Yeah.
But I loved the result. But before we finish, I will bring you into my studio, and I'll show you some of the children's paintings, and I'll show you some of the things we're talking about before we leave, before you leave.
I just have two more questions. What is the first art piece you created?
Oh, golly, what was it? I don't know, because I was so young. But I know I have a little painting I would have done probably at the age of about 8. And it was of my home in Dukes. I just painted the house and the windows. And it's very sweet. You can see I was very, very, very young when I did it. You see, you just do what's around you, what's part of your life, sort of thing. That's the most likely thing you'll do.
And my other question that my mom had is, did you go to art school?
I did. Now, I'll tell you about that. I just have to find a hanky if I have one. I did. Oh yes, I'd like to give you a little talk about that. Okay, so first of all, I tell you, it was the only thing I liked at school was art, and there was only one class a week. I don't know how often you do art at school.
Yeah, once a week, I think.
Oh, same sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Well, anyway, I just adored art, and I was always good at it. And then, eventually, when I started studying in Dublin at the College of Art, it was hopeless in those long ago days. Hopeless. They would sort of, it would almost stop you being an artist. It was so bad because they made you do this and they made you to do that.
Yeah.
They didn't let you evolve. They didn't let you be creative. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
They didn't let what you had in you come out.
Express yourself, kind of.
Exactly. They wouldn't really allow that. And then I went to Brussels. I got a job in Brussels and I went to the art school there. And that was no good because the art teacher put all my paint on my painting like he was doing it, not me. So then in the end I went to a very good place in Bath Academy, Corsham, and then everything happened. Because art schools aren't necessarily good. It just depends on your teacher. I mean, one teacher can be brilliant, can be so sympathetic, make you feel good and you want to be better, and another teacher can make you feel terrible. So it's the same with every subject. So if you have a good art teacher, it really matters a lot.
Yeah.
And so in the end, I found a really good art teacher, and he taught his students how to be free. You know, just to express yourself, and he got the best out of everybody. So that was when everything changed, and then I never looked back. And then I came here straight after that, and I was very lucky because this cottage went up for auction. And so then I did all my work, what was my bedroom then, because I didn't have very much room. And I had my first exhibition in New York, and then everything started to happen. One thing went bang, 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 bang. So tell me, in your school, are there many people that like to do art, or what is it?
Oh yeah, there's quite a lot of
few.
kids who like to do art.
Yeah.
And there are will they do it after school, do you think?
A few of my friends are doing art, I believe.
Really?
Yeah.
That's
In
fantastic.
the public school, it's one of the subjects we can
Oh,
choose.
fantastic, because they're very good art teachers there too. But you haven't got there yet, have you?
Well, we've had art tasters in the public school, which is like when they bring you in and they let you try some of the subjects.
Really?
So, but then they had to like make you pick 3 that you wanted to do.
What did you pick?
The ones I picked are home economics, Spanish for the language.
Oh, that's obvious with your Spanish mum. Yeah.
And it was either I could choose art or graphics, like graphics and design. So I chose graphics.
Very good.
And
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And what you're not going yet, are you?
Well, I am going in September. I'm going to secondary school, but I'm going to Colosseum, not public school. And in Colosseum, in first year, you have to do every subject, and then in second year, you get to choose.
Oh, yes. So you haven't got to the point of choosing yet. Is that it?
Yeah.
And will you go in by day, or what will you do?
Yeah, just for the day.
Oh, yes. So they'll drop your. Or is there a bus? Will a bus bring you there?
No, my parents just
Oh, yeah,
bring
they'll
me
drop
there
you in.
the morning. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's good. Oh, yes. So do you like that? Would you
Yeah.
choose to go there? You happy with that? Or your
Yeah, I think
sisters?
I think I would choose to go there. Yeah.
And where would you choose if you were allowed to choose?
I'm not sure because most of my family went to like public school and like that kind of area. So my brother, he has a lot of good stories of public school. But I hear Colosseum is a very good school as well.
Oh, yeah,
so.
isn't that great? I mean, education is brilliant now, isn't it? Or at whatever school you go to, it's pretty good, isn't it?
Yeah.
And it's very good, yeah. Haven't you got great teachers here, haven't you?
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, and I bet you enjoy school, don't you?
Yes. a lot of fun when you have friends in school.
Yeah, isn't it terrific?
So that's all of my questions. Do you have questions?
That's all of mine. And the last question we had together was, is there anything else you'd like to say?
Well, I'll tell you what I'd like to do. Well, first of all, I tell you, I enjoy this very much.
Yeah,
I think
did too.
Yeah, good. And I think you had very good questions, brilliant questions.
Thank you.
And wouldn't it be funny one day if you took this up as a profession? Wouldn't that be a hoot?
Yeah.
And you should keep this recording in case you do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I'll tell you finally what I want to do. As I already said, I'm going to bring you into my studio, and I'm going to show you some of the kids' art. Isn't that a good way to finish?
Okay.
Now I'm going to pull out Humphrey. Oh no! Do you know, I think this is your dad. Wait a minute, is his name there?
It might be on the back. I guess it's not on the back.
Oh, this is my uncle.
Oh, there's your uncle. What about that? Now you say what you think about that.
It's a very nice painting.
Isn't it? Isn't that amazing?
The farm.
Yeah? I wonder which one. Now, is that your dad's? I can't remember which one it is.
No, Canada.
Oh, yeah, okay. Oh, is that his?
Yes, Christopher McGarrett.
Isn't that a hoot?
It's a very nice painting.
Isn't it?
Is that a basket?
The Skellig Rock, I think.
Oh, yeah.
Or, no, or maybe the Tear Rock.
One of
Isn't
them.
it good?
It's a very nice painting.
You'll be able to tell him that. Now, where's Mr. Humphrey? Oh, I think this might be Humphrey. Oh gosh, who is this? No.
Down here.
Oh yes, I think.
Need help with it?
Gosh, I still haven't found Humphrey. But anyway, look at the seagull she did. Isn't that beautiful?
Wow. It's a very
Isn't
nice
that amazing? You see, they're brilliant things, aren't they? Now, who did that? It's written on it.
Fergal Slatter.
Oh, Kate's
that's
dad.
Kate. No, Kate's uncle. I
Sorry.
think.
Isn't that
Yeah,
amazing?
Yeah.
And wouldn't they be? They've probably forgotten they ever did this.
Yeah.
They'd be amazed to see them. Now, I'd love to find Humphrey if I could. Where is Humphrey hiding away somewhere? 1 second. Oh yes, now I think Lasser did. I'm full this out. I think Lasser did this one.
Yeah, Elmo
Elmo
Happy.
Happy.
Also
Yeah.
very nice.
Yeah. It's kind of like the one at the school.
Yeah.
Yes, they did it after that. You see.
Oh, yeah.
No, I don't know where Humphrey. We'll have to leave Humphrey for today. And then if you want to walk around the studio, you can ask me any question to finish with.
These are very nice paintings.
Which one?
There.
Yeah, aren't they? So you see, isn't that funny? The very two of your dad and your uncle appeared from nowhere. You know what I mean? They just jumped out. But isn't it a great idea to have them?
Yeah.
You must show them one day. You must do that. Now, do you remember I was telling you about the aluminium work? You see, there's the metal things at the end?
Oh,
Yes.
That's all aluminium. That's with the dust I was telling you about.
yeah. They're very nice.
When you're rubbing it, and you see on the wall. Take a look on the wall here, and you can go up and have a look, and then you can ask me any question you want.
These ones made of.
Yeah, so they're made out of aluminium, and in order to get that shape, all I do is I have a pot scrubber, and I scrub it like that.
It's very interesting.
Yes, but as I say, it's so dangerous, you know, that dust
Yeah.
you got into. So it's a big job covering oneself. Every bit, there mustn't be one bit of you exposed, you know?
Yeah.
And let me see, what else do I have to tell you? Anyway, it's a great space, isn't it?
It is.
Yes, very handy to have plenty of room to work in. Because when you're working, you spread all your stuff around, you know?
Yeah.
Anyway, you can be dreaming of a big studio, because I used to dream of a big studio, and then one day I got it.
Nach raibh sé sin anna himúil, Emilie.
Bhí haithante go mórlam fechantar na picúí a tháinig me hisismathirí is tuismathirí a cháirde. An bhéon páirt a an lása go mór?
Haithante go mórlam caint meall ar héal san Ind agus nar a thosnaigh sí leis an ealaíon.
Bhí ealaíon anas sa múl. Haithante go mórlam fechantar na picúí dhéon si amachchas aluminium agus fearlam cécho daintéireachas sa bhí se.
Tá se nach chaintéir. Haithante am bheith caint meall ar míthalla go hín agus ní bhís gom gur bhúscail sí an sim a bhí gas an ealaíon.
Bhí sé sin anna.
Agus dhéon sé timpeall cháchéad picú eile sa cailecha. Sin deir le ná Podchraoladh.
Tásúlagan go haithante go mór libh.
Slán!